I think this Warrior team is aging. They're aging. Steph Curry, I'm not saying that he's not good anymore. I don't know if he can lead this team anymore. Klay Thompson has never been the same since he's tore his Achilles, he tore his knee. He's not the same player. Draymond Green is old. He's old. He's a great leader. He could go to another team next year, a better team, a younger team that needs his help as far as drawing fouls and being the energy of that team. He is not going to be with Golden State next year. We thought Jordan Poole is the future of this team. After paying him $130, $140 million extension or whatever they gave him, I would really look to possibly trade him in the offseason. If he's not getting along with any of his teammates, even if they're not going to be there, what makes anybody believe that he's going to get along with any of the players they bring in to play with him? This is a guy that just has a problem getting along with people. I watched something today, a 30 for 30 on Dennis Rodman. And Dennis Rodman was the nicest guy when he played for the Detroit Pistons. This guy was quiet. He did everything that Coach Chuck Bailey wanted him to do. Everything that he wanted him to do, he did. And when Chuck stepped down and the team was broken up, he became, I guess, more about who he is and became something that nobody believed he was going to transform into. His personality changed. At one point, he wanted to commit suicide.
Wow.
All right? And he didn't get along with anybody after Isaiah Thomas retired. Lambeer retired. Sally was traded. This team was completely broken up after winning those 2 championships, back-to-back years, and Rodman was a big part of those championships, coming off the bench on the first one and then starting on the second one, winning Defensive Player of the Year. He was not the same player after that. It took him a while. Then he went to San Antonio. He changed. His personality changed. He thought he was better than everybody else was on the court because of what he did and what he has accomplished when he was in Detroit. He went to San Antonio. He didn't get along with David Robertson. He didn't get along with anybody as they brought him in to add some fury to that roster. They were soft, the San Antonio Spurs. They brought Dennis Rodman there, and it didn't work. Then he went to the Bulls. And then he played with a guy in Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen didn't want him there, but he took him because Jordan wanted him there, and Phil Jackson said he was going to watch him. He finally went back to a coach that can control him, and Michael Jordan wasn't going to let him push him around. He was a superstar. He was the best player in the world. Dennis Rodman was not going to be controlled unless he was being pushed. Steph Curry is not that guy. I never thought Steph Curry was a leader on this team. Draymond Green is the voice and the face of this organization. I know everybody says I'm out of my mind. He's not the best player. He's not. If you guys remember the New York Knicks of the 90s, who were the co-captains of that team? Patrick Ewing, who was their best player, and Charles Oakley, who was their enforcer. Charles Oakley was not a great player. He was a great rebounder, and he was an enforcer. He made sure that if you put your hands on any of their big players, you were going to feel it. That's what Dennis Rodman was when the Chicago Bulls brought him in. That's what he was when he went to San Antonio. When he was playing for Detroit, he wasn't. He didn't have to be the enforcer. Bill Lambeer was the enforcer. And why am I bringing this up? Because you look at Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole had one good season, then got an extension because everybody thought he was the future of this organization. Remember, he wasn't a high draft pick. He wasn't. When Steph Curry got hurt last year, he took over. He was a big reason why they made the playoffs last year. And what happened in the playoffs? Jordan Poole didn't show up. What do you see this year? Jordan Poole in the playoffs? He doesn't show up in the big game. And this is where this organization is going. With all those good draft picks and all those good players that they have drafted over the years, now you're drafting players. Now you did get Wiseman. You drafted Wiseman. You got lucky. You had one bad season. You drafted in the top 3. The NBA shelved you, Wiseman. And then you trade him away for somebody or some pieces that are not helping your team right now in the playoffs.